The owner and chief executive of Adventure Dynamics International is Sean Disney, and you've done Everest a couple of times, Sean Disney.
Bruce, good evening. How are you doing? Yes, I have, for my sins, been up Everest a couple of times.
Okay, you've summited twice, but you've led parties up more than that, I'm sure.
You know, this game is growing, and there's a lot of people out there who like this goal-oriented type holiday. And yes, Adventure Dynamics runs the 7 summits, so we do that all the time. I mean, I'm one of the few and only guide companies in South Africa that does this full time, and we take people around the world climbing the 7 summits all the time. Northern summer, southern summer, not too happy guiding in winters, but that's what we do.
When you have an anniversary like this, it's 60 years since Hillary and Tenzing became the first human beings that we know of to summit Everest. Is it significant in your mind? Do you sort of look back and say, I've been where they were. If it wasn't for them, perhaps I wouldn't have succeeded?
You know, what we're talking here, this is a great day, and it's. I mean, I was there in 2003 for the 50th anniversary, which was also pretty big, and
because both were then alive, weren't they?
Both of them were alive. They both summited 29th of May, 1953, and these are what we call the Great British Pioneer Expeditions. The Swiss were doing it. Everybody was competing for the poles. Everyone was competing for Everest and all the 8,000-meter peaks. And these guys were phenomenal. These are huge expeditions funded by British government, Swiss government, the Americans that got up Everest in 1963. Those days were pioneer stuff, and hats off to them. I mean, these were massive, massive expeditions. A lot has changed nowadays, and things are different. The gear's better, the logistics are better. We have the formula now. Look, by no means is it completely safe. You still get that annual death stat and things like that. And it's still a challenge, but yes, a lot more people are doing it nowadays. It's become very commercial.
Very commercial, which enables you to create a business around it, of course, as well.
Correct.
When you look at the cost of doing it, if I said to you now, Sean, I would like to climb Everest, you're not going to take me up Everest in 3 weeks' time. You're going to require me, I'm sure, to do a little test run with Kilimanjaro first, by way of example.
Look, you know, the way we advise people is it's a stepping stone process. So the 7 summits are a great example where you start with Kilimanjaro, move through Elbrus, things like that. There are exceptions to the rule. I think Lee is one of them. And she did phenomenally this year. And
sorry, who is Lee?
Lee Den Hont.
Okay.
The third South African woman who just summited Everest now.
Yeah.
And she pretty much... She got up there about a week ago or so. She's running for a charity. But I would always advise people, don't waste your money. This game is an accumulation of experience. It's about the little things. It's move through the stepping stone process so you don't hurt yourself and basically get up to speed. It's just like cycling. Start with 1 days and then build up to Swanee to seas and then start your Joburg to seas and your epics. There's a whole learning curve that goes with this game of mountaineering, and you don't ever want it to hurt you.
If I'm going to do it properly, Sean, if I say to you I would like to climb Everest one day, how much money do I need to have in the bank before I exercise my goal?
Nowadays you're looking at, and depending on what level you go in, there's the Mazda and there's a Ferrari. So you can
Give me the Ferrari, Sean.
The Ferrari is basically, we're going to say, you're going to spend about $70,000 US. You're going to get the best guides in the world, and you're going to get lots of oxygen, spare oxygen. You're going to get Sherpas 1-to-1. We're going to try and limit the risk completely. So work now with the Rand coming to 10, work at 700,000 Rand.
700,000 Rand for the full service kit, and not a guarantee of summiting, of course.
Not a guarantee at all.
That's the best chance you're going to give yourself to summit. But I am not going to go and do Everest for my first expedition. If I'm going to work up to this, as in your cycling analogy, I need to get to Kilimanjaro, which doesn't happen for nothing. I need to get to Everest, which doesn't happen for nothing. I need to get to Aconcagua, which doesn't happen for nothing. Over a career of summiting, in order to reach my goal of Everest, I'm probably in for 1.5 to 2 million Rand.
That's exactly what I was going to say. You're in for 1.5, 2. And that's to get your 7 summits. Keep in mind, not everybody gets it the first time. You might be going for a little few repeats there. You could be taken out by health. You could get taken out by weather. As long as you're not taken out permanently, it's always a good thing.
This isn't for the light-hearted, and also you need some time on your side, don't you? Because in order to summit Everest, you need a 3-month time span. You need to get there, you need to acclimatize, all of that sort of stuff. So it's not only about the money, it's about the luxury of time you need on your side too.
Correct. So a lot of the guys who do it work for themselves. They seem to have that kind of capital, and let's face it, there's still a lot of money around in South Africa. And you've got to look at what employer is going to give you 10 to 12 weeks away. You've got to look at the fact that a lot of these guys, if you're an attorney or a doctor, your loss of income. Plus, you've got to add the 700,000 on top of it. It's a big commitment with a year of training beforehand.
But there's a big market for it, Sean, and that's what's so exciting, isn't it?
There is, and it's becoming more and more popular. All these events, no matter what it is, whether it's running, cycling, mountaineering, this is what the guys want to do. And it's most of your guys doing Everest are in the age bracket between, I would say, 40 and 55. Purely on the fact that the barrier to entry from a financial perspective is huge.
Well, what is this industry worth to Nepal? What's Everest worth on an annual basis? Have anybody done some?
In terms of, there's people talking, there's a lot of congestion up there at the moment, and Nepal government, people used to say in the old days, well, they're going to limit permits. Well, the Nepalese government does not limit permits. It's got one of the lowest GDPs in the world. It turns over $12 million annually in permit fees. You're looking at $10,000 roughly a person.
Okay.
So $12 million US. Add the $60,000 US to those 500 people attempting every year. Massive income for Nepal and the people of Nepal and all the Sherpa people.
But it also helps to explain why it costs so much. If you are a person who wants to climb the mountain, it explains why the price tag is pretty racy.
Yeah, and correct. If you've got the highest mountain in your backyard, you can charge whatever you want for it.
Well, I mean, it costs $200 to go up Table Mountain nowadays in the cable car. It's even they are jumping in on the bandwagon.
And you'll pay it. If it was $400, people would still go.
Yeah, they would, because have you tried it? I mean, you'd jog up Clutter Cliff backwards, but some of us are more challenged than you are, Sean Disney. But it's great to talk to you. Thank you so much. The owner and chief executive of Adventure Dynamics International. His business is taking people on wild adventures.